Welcome to the Accelerator. Today, we are laying out a battle plan. We're going to build the first real-time music-reactive VJ app using the NPU chip that is, let's be honest, probably inside the device you're watching this on right now. So, what's the goal? Simple. Get to market first, even if you can't code, and then build an empire from there. Ready? Let's get into it.
You know, until very recently, doing any kind of real-time generative art meant you needed a beast of a desktop computer, probably glowing in the corner and plugged into the wall. But there's a new piece of silicon that's changing the entire game. The arrival of on-device NPUs, well, it isn't just another upgrade. It's a total paradigm shift. It cracks open this huge window of opportunity for a whole new category of creative apps that can literally run anywhere.
And seizing that opportunity, well, that's the real trick, isn't it? The question isn't just, hey, can this be built? The real question is, how do you build it faster than anyone else, especially if you don't have a background in coding, and maybe even more important, once you launch, how do you turn being first into a lasting, dominant success? That's the playbook we're putting together today. Okay, part one, a new creative frontier. So, to really get a grip on this opportunity, you first have to understand the tech that makes it all possible. And we're not just talking about slightly faster computers here. No, we're talking about a fundamentally new kind of brain that's being put inside them. So let's meet the star of our show, the Neural Processing Unit.
So, what on earth is an NPU? Well, think of it as a specialist. Your computer's main brain, the CPU, is a generalist. It does a little bit of everything. The GPU is a specialist for graphics, for painting pixels on your screen. The NPU? It's a hyper-specialist. It was born and bred for one single purpose, to run AI models, and to do it with, frankly, ridiculous efficiency.
Now this is where it gets really interesting. Look at how these three processors actually form a team. It's like a strategic division of labor. The CPU is the project manager. It handles the app, the buttons you press. The GPU is the powerhouse artist, rendering that beautiful final image to the screen. And the NPU? That's the AI idea factory, constantly dreaming up new visuals in the background. See, they're not competing with each other. They're collaborating.
And this chart right here, this shows the NPU's superpower. Efficiency. I mean, just look at that difference. Now imagine you're a VJ in the middle of a 2-hour live set. Trying to run these AI tasks on a GPU would absolutely torch your battery and probably cause your device to overheat and slow down right in the middle of your show. But the NPU? It just sips power. And that means you get sustained top-tier AI performance that doesn't kill your device or your creative flow. That's a game changer.
All right, part two, the first-to-market playbook. So, we've got the technology, but in a brand new market, awesome tech is only half the battle. The other half is all about strategy. And when a new frontier like this opens up, getting there first isn't just a nice-to-have, it is everything. Speed is your only real advantage.
Let me say that again. When you're racing to be first, every single decision you make has to be optimized for one thing: speed. This makes your choice of platform the single most critical decision you will make. You have to find the absolute path of least resistance from your idea to the App Store, no exceptions.
So, for this mission, what is that fastest path? It's the Apple ecosystem, hands down. And here's why. First, you've got the integrated stack. Apple's AI toolkit, Core ML, is basically designed to automatically talk to their NPU, which they call the neural engine. It just works. Second, you've got pro tools like Xcode that make it incredibly simple to get your AI model into the app. And third, let's be real, your target audience, the people who actually buy creative apps, they're already on iOS and macOS. It's a captive audience. Okay, part three, building with your AI copilot. We've picked our platform. Now it's time to get our hands dirty. How do we actually build this thing? This is where we put together the recipe for our minimum viable product, our MVP. And remember, the goal here isn't to build the final, perfect, feature-packed version. It's about building that first, magical version as fast as humanly or, artificially possible.
And the key here is to keep the MVP stack ruthlessly simple. We're targeting iOS because the hardware is standardized. We're going to use Apple's native tools, Swift and Core ML, for maximum performance. And now, here's the most important shortcut of all. You are not going to train your own AI model. That would take months. Instead, you're going to find a pre-trained style transfer model online. You just drop it into your project, and it can instantly turn a live camera feed into a moving painting. Add a simple beat detection library, and that's it. That is your magical MVP.
Okay, I know what a lot of you are thinking.
This is the question that stops so many brilliant ideas dead in their tracks. You have the vision, you have the strategy, you've got the tech stack, but you're not a developer. 10 years ago, this would have been a dead end. Game over. But today, it's just a different kind of workflow. Here's the shift in thinking. You don't need to be the builder anymore. You need to be the architect. Your job is to have the vision and provide clear, precise instructions. Your Copilot, an AI coding assistant like GitHub Copilot, will take those instructions and translate them into working code. This completely flips the script. It turns what would have been months of painstaking coding into a few weeks of directing.
And what does that directing process actually look like? It's literally like having a conversation. You provide a series of clear prompts. You start with, hey, write the Swift code to show the live camera feed. Done. Next. Okay, now show me how to use Core ML to run this style model on that live feed. Done. And finally, perfect. Now let's integrate a beat detection library to trigger that model only when a beat is detected. The AI writes the code for each chunk, and your job is simply to stitch it all together.
All right, we're on to our final section, part 4, from first mover to dominance. Look, getting to market first is a huge victory, but it's just the first battle, it's not the entire war. Your MVP is going to feel like pure magic to people, but I promise you, competitors will follow. Staying on top means you have to shift your thinking from a speed run to a chess match.
So, after you launch, you enter what I call the wait-and-see phase. This is strategic. You gather feedback, you watch the market, and you let your competitors scramble to copy what you just built. Now, your next move is not going to be a simple version 2.0 update with a few bug fixes. No. It's a calculated, strategic leapfrog designed to make their clones totally obsolete before they even hit the store. And this is that roadmap to dominance. First, you leapfrog them with tech. While they're busy copying your basic style transfer, you implement advanced scan models to generate completely new, mind-bending visuals. Next, you add intelligence. You start analyzing the music's mood, not just its beat. Then you go pro, adding layers and more controls. But here's the killer move. You build a moat. You launch a marketplace where other artists can upload and sell their own AI models through your app. Suddenly, you're not just a product anymore, you're a platform. And finally, with that momentum, you expand to all the other platforms you initially ignored for speed.
So here's the big takeaway. We are at this incredibly unique moment of convergence. For the very first time, the specialized hardware for on-device AI is now mainstream. The software tools to actually use it are mature and accessible, and the AI assistants that can help you build the whole thing are literally just waiting for your command. This isn't some prediction about the future. This is the opportunity that exists right now, today.
So, the pieces are all on the board. The hardware is in our pockets, the playbook is written. A whole new frontier of creative software is just sitting there, waiting to be defined. The only real question left is, who's going to build it? Thanks for watching The Accelerator. Now go build something.